Hello students, in last class what we have seen is up to water vapor we have seen. In conversion of liquid to water vapor we have seen. Conversion of water to water vapor we call it as vaporization. That is liquid to gaseous state. We call it as vaporization. But here the complete bulk of all the water molecules are getting converted into water vapor. And what is important here is the conversion is taking place. Why there is a conversion of taking place? What happens when we give the temperature? That time the molecules of the particles takes the kinetic energy and they are able to come out of the intermolecular force of attraction. So I see solid will convert to water after increasing temperature, and water will convert, solid will convert to liquid, and liquid will convert to gaseous state. So these all we learned in the last class. So fusion we learned, vaporization we learned, latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization we learned. So before going to next, as I told in the last class, I want to tell you two definition, important definition, that is melting point and boiling point. So melting happens, that we call it as fusion, and boiling also happens, that we call as vaporization. Okay, boiling. So what happens in melting point? Melting means what? Conversion of solid to liquid state. That is fusion. Conversion of solid to liquid state at its melting point we say. That is its conversion of solid to liquid is called fusion, but latent heat of fusion comes in melting point only. Okay. So what is melting point? The conversion is happening, melting means conversion is happening from solid to liquid. Ice is melting, means what? Solid is getting converted into liquid. So melting point means it is the temperature, right? Both are temperature. The temperature at which solid converts to liquid state. The temperature at which solid converts to liquid state at atmospheric pressure. Means pressure should be maintained constant at atmospheric pressure, normal pressure. Okay, what we say, the temperature, it is the temperature. Melting point is nothing but it is the temperature at which solid converts to or changes to liquid state. Liquid state at atmospheric pressure. For ice it is 0 degree Celsius, okay, or 273 Kelvin. For ice it is 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin at atmospheric pressure is called melting point. Is called melting point. Please note down this. Just I want all of you to note down this. Melting point is the temperature at which solid converts to liquid state at atmospheric pressure is called melting point. So melting point of metals are usually high, but when you take one example of ice, it is 0 degrees Celsius. It has been asked what is the melting point of ice? 0 degrees Celsius, or you can say 273 Kelvin. If you precisely want, 273.15 Kelvin. Okay. Next we will come across boiling point. Next we will come across boiling point. What is boiling point? I hope melting point is clear. You can read it once again. Now we will come to what is boiling point. Boiling point is also the temperature, but it comes in vaporization. where vaporization means liquid state to gaseous state. So it is again the temperature. Let me say this is again the temperature. This is again what? This is again the temperature. The temperature at which the temperature at which liquid liquid converts to gaseous state. Gaseous state. Liquid converts to gaseous state at atmospheric pressure. At atmospheric pressure. At atmospheric pressure is called boiling point. Is called boiling. See, the process is called vaporization, but it is the temperature. See, ice starts melting, okay, at 0 degree Celsius. So that we call it as melting point. But when comes to boiling point, it is 100 degrees Celsius for water. But when you consider generally, we are taking water and ice just as examples. When you consider generally, it is the temperature at which liquid converts to gaseous state at atmospheric pressure. That means the pressure should be maintained constant. At atmospheric pressure means normal pressure that is present in our atmosphere. That should be at atmospheric pressure. Then we call it as a boiling point. So we have already seen about the two interconversion of states. Remaining 4 we have to see. There are 6 interconversion of states of matter. Okay, so we have seen fusion, which is also called as melting. Another one we have seen as vaporization. Last class I have said it as vaporization or evaporation, but evaporation is something different. What we told from liquid state to gaseous state, that is nothing but vaporization. Okay, so melting point, boiling point, please note down these two. Okay, for remember, boiling point of water 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin, melting point of ice 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Okay, so we move to the interconversion. Please note down these. Okay, solid. Okay, here I will write gas. Okay, let me say here liquid. So last class, what we have done? Solid to liquid conversion we have seen. See the cycle here. If you increase temperature, solid becomes liquid. Again increase temperature, liquid becomes gas. If you increase again temperature, gas becomes solid. So one cycle is completed. Again reverse. If you decrease temperature, gas becomes liquid, liquid becomes solid, and solid becomes gas. That is again one cycle. Reverse. We can say reverse. So solid to liquid, or you can say this one, solid to liquid, normal, liquid to gas, then gas to solid. We will take this gas to solid, solid to gas. Okay. So what we have called solid to liquid, what we call this one as fusion. Okay, then liquid to gas we call it as vaporization. And you have to remember four other definition here. Here two, here two. What are two here? Fusion. Fusion is the process. Other two definition, latent heat of fusion and melting point. Here, latent heat of vaporization and boiling point. Those two definition will come there. You have to remember that. And see, solid to gas or gas to solid, the third process that we call it as sublimation. Directly solid to gas or gas to solid, we call it as sublimation. Sublimation. So, what is sublimation? Sublimation is nothing but it is the conversion of solid state to gaseous state without undergoing into liquid state. This is very much important. There are some matters which converts directly from solid state to gas state, but they will not undergo any liquid state. For example, camphor is there. For example, if I take camphor, or another example is naphthalene balls. Naphthalene balls. So if you heat the camphor, camphor means, as you know, what we say in Kannada is karpura. Okay, karpura we can say in Kannada. So this camphor, if you heat it, what will happen? This camphor will convert to gas directly, but without any residual of liquid state. It will not undergo any liquid state. Similar things with naphthalene balls. See, naphthalene balls are the small balls which are kept in the gaps of the cloth, shirt. Okay, why they are kept? They usually they diffuse. What we can say? They will sublime. They will convert into gas. When they are kept in shirts, they will convert cloths. Those naphthalene balls will convert into gas, but they will not leave any liquid materials. That means they are undergoing sublimation. They convert to the gaseous state without undergoing any liquid state. So that we can call it as a sublimation. So what is sublimation? The conversion of matter from solid state to gaseous state without undergoing liquid state. The conversion of matter from solid state to gaseous state directly without undergoing any liquid state is called as sublimation. You have to remember it: fusion, vaporization and sublimation. And there is no other definition will come here like latent heat of sublimation. There is nothing like that. Latent heat of fusion and latent heat of vaporization. There is only 2 points: melting point and boiling point. Okay, I hope everything is clear with these things regarding sublimation. So, what is sublimation? So, this one question will ask you: why naphthalene balls why naphthalene balls that are kept in cloths, okay, will vaporize away? So, very easy, due to sublimation process. Due to sublimation process, the naphthalene balls which are present in solid states converted into gaseous state without, they don't leave any liquid residual. Okay, so that is the reason you have to remember. And what is sublimation? What is sublimation? The conversion of matter from solid state to directly gaseous state without undergoing any liquid state is called as sublimation. So sublimation definition will look, please note down. conversion of matter from solid state to gaseous state without undergoing without undergoing liquid state without undergoing liquid state is called sublimation. It's called sublimation. Sublimation is nothing but the conversion of matter from solid state to gaseous state without undergoing liquid state is called as sublimation. This you should remember. See, 3 cases we learned and 4th case we learn now. Sublimation, I hope you understood 2 examples, camphor and naphthalene balls. We can take what are the 2 examples of sublimation, camphor, naphthalene balls. So, sublimation is conversion of matter from solid state to gaseous state without undergoing to liquid state is called as sublimation. So, now here after heating you will get to liquid. Here again heating you will get to gas. So again from heating again or without heating also we can get. So we can say with application of heat we get sublimation. But now we will go through the reverse processes. Okay. If gas becomes solid, what we call for that? If gas becomes solid, we call it as deposition. Deposition. We call it as deposition. So what is deposition? If gas becomes solid, that we call it as deposition. So what is deposition? So deposition means, see, the moisture present in air sometimes will be deposited on the metals or on, you can say, in your, if the moisture is present in a room, then after some time you can see that there is some deposition. Or if you easily say that, if you are remembering electrolysis process, okay, so what happens in electrolysis process? There will be cathode and anode. So I am just writing the rough diagram. Okay, here water will be there. This is connected to battery. Okay, these are connected to battery. Right? So what happens here? Okay, you can say here from this side. So what happens here? Deposition will occur. What happens here? Copper will be there. So copper, suppose the solution is CuSO4. Copper splits into Cu++, and this will splits into CSO4-. So Cu plus will come this side. That means this is cation comes to cathode. It starts depositing here. So depositing, you understood, depositing here. That we call it as deposition. So gas deposits. Even though if you take CO2, okay, for example, very easy example, if you are burning a candle, if you are holding a hand to the candle, what happens? Here there is a deposition of black material in your hand. Do you remember that? So what we call in Kannada chimney. Okay, chimney is there. So if you keep the hand to this chimney by burning the chimney, then what happens? You can see a black color here. So black deposited gas here. So now it is in solid state. That we call it as a deposition. Conversion of gas to solid state, we call it as deposition. I hope you are understanding with deposition. So what is deposition? Conversion of gaseous state to the solid state is called as deposition. So next, after deposition, There are another two definition. So what is deposition definition? Deposition definition is actually not there for you, but still remember this. Conversion of gaseous state, conversion of gaseous state to solid state without undergoing liquid state. This one, without undergoing liquid state is called deposition. Okay, is called deposition. Right? I hope you understood. Now another two are there. What it will be called from gas to liquid? What we call it from gas to liquid? For example, some gas is there. I made it to condense to the liquid state. Okay, I made it to condense to the liquid state. That means gas is present. I just want it to make liquid. What I will do? I will do cooling of gas. The temperature of the gas must be decreased. If there is a gas, when the temperature, if for the liquid, if the temperature is given, it will convert to gas. For gas, the temperature must be decreased to make it liquid. So now we have said fusion and vaporization. So what then if gas is converted to liquid? What if gas is converted to liquid and liquid is converted to solid? So if gas is converted to liquid, we call it as condensation. Condensation. What is condensation? Conversion of gaseous state of matter to liquid state, or the conversion of matter from gaseous state to liquid state is called as what we can say condensation, or another name we can call for that as liquefaction. But condensation is the proper definition, you remember. Another one I will tell and I will write both the definition together. So after condensation we can say liquid will convert to solid, we can call it as solidification. We call it as solidification. So there are two definitions, condensation and solidification. What is condensation? Conversion of matter from gaseous state to liquid state. Liquid state is called as condensation. Is called as condensation. Is called as condensation. So next, what is there? Another one, solidification. Solidification. So please note down these points. What is solidification? I will tell you. First, condensation, conversion of matter from gaseous state to liquid state. Means gas, it is present in gas, will convert it into, will condense it, will decrease its temperature, will freeze it, then it will convert to liquid state. Then that we call it as condensation. Okay. Now the condensation process is understood. So that gas converts to liquid. Now from liquid to solid we call it as solidification. So what is solidification? The conversion of matter. Okay, it is the conversion of matter from which state to which state? Liquid state to solid state. The conversion of matter from liquid state to solid state. liquid state to solid state, or change of matter from liquid state to solid state is called as is called as solidification. For example, if you are having water with you, if you keep it in fridge, so if you keep it in fridge for maximum time, it will convert into ice. That we call it as solidification. Okay, conversion of liquid to solid. So if you keep water in the refrigerator, what happens? It becomes solid. So that we can call it as solidification. I hope you all are understood with these things. So almost we have seen 10 definitions. These 6 process definition: melting point, boiling point, latent heat of fusion, and latent heat of vaporization. So you have to be perfect with all these 10 definitions which we have seen in the last 2 classes. Okay. So fusion, solidification, vaporization, condensation, sublimation, deposition, these 6 definitions you have to perfect. Next, boiling point, melting point, latent heat of fusion, latent heat of vaporization. These other 6 definitions you have to remember. Okay, and boiling point of water and melting point of water, both in Kelvin and degree Celsius, you have to remember. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius or 373.15 Kelvin, and melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius or 273.15 Kelvin. These all things you have to remember. So remaining things we will see in the next class.